Are you unknowingly sabotaging your health? You need to watch this video to find out which common foods could be destroying your nitric oxide levels. Nitric oxide is a crucial molecule for our cardiovascular health, responsible for relaxing blood vessels, improving blood flow, and regulating blood pressure. However, as we age, and depending on the foods we consume, our nitric oxide levels can drastically decrease, leading to serious health issues such as hypertension, heart disease, and decreased exercise performance. Nitric oxide also plays a vital role in the body's immune response, helping to protect against infections and inflammation. A deficiency in nitric oxide can compromise our immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses and prolonged recovery times. Additionally, nitric oxide is involved in neurotransmission, which means it impacts brain function and mental clarity. Low levels of nitric oxide have been linked to cognitive decline and other neurological disorders. Furthermore, nitric oxide supports muscle function and endurance. Athletes and those engaging in regular physical activity rely on adequate nitric oxide levels to enhance their performance and recovery. When nitric oxide levels drop, muscle fatigue increases, and recovery slows down, hindering overall athletic performance and daily physical activities. Understanding the foods that impact nitric oxide levels is crucial for maintaining optimal health and peak physical condition. Before we dive into the details, we would like to quick remind you, this content is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Please consult a healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet or health routine, especially if you have pre-existing health conditions or are taking any medication. Why is nitric oxide important for our health? Nitric oxide plays a vital role in maintaining the health of our cardiovascular system. It helps in vasodilation, which is the widening of blood vessels, allowing for better blood flow and reduced blood pressure. Furthermore, nitric oxide is essential for cellular communication, immune system function, and the regulation of inflammatory processes. Without adequate nitric oxide, our body's ability to deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues becomes compromised. Beyond its cardiovascular benefits, nitric oxide is crucial for metabolic health. It influences insulin sensitivity and glucose uptake, thereby playing a role in preventing and managing diabetes. Studies have shown that enhanced nitric oxide production can improve metabolic function and reduce the risk of developing insulin resistance. This highlights the molecule's importance in managing body weight and reducing the risk of metabolic syndrome. Moreover, nitric oxide has a significant impact on sexual health. In men, it is a key factor in achieving and maintaining erections, as it facilitates the relaxation of smooth muscle in the penis, allowing for increased blood flow. In women, adequate nitric oxide levels are associated with enhanced sexual arousal and response. Therefore, maintaining optimal nitric oxide levels is essential for overall sexual health and well-being. What happens if the nitric oxide level in our body decreases? Other health issues include increased blood pressure, reduced exercise capacity, cognitive decline, and impaired immune function. Therefore, maintaining optimal nitric oxide levels is critical for overall health and longevity. Low nitric oxide levels can also contribute to chronic fatigue and decreased stamina. This occurs because insufficient nitric oxide impairs blood flow and oxygen delivery to muscles, making physical activities more strenuous and reducing overall energy levels. Individuals may find themselves easily fatigued and less able to engage in both daily tasks and physical exercise, which can further diminish quality of life. Additionally, a deficiency in nitric oxide can negatively affect wound healing and tissue repair. Nitric oxide is involved in the process of angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, which is essential for delivering nutrients and oxygen to damaged tissues. Without adequate nitric oxide, the body's ability to heal wounds and recover from injuries is compromised, potentially leading to chronic wounds and delayed recovery times. This underscores the importance of nitric oxide in maintaining not just cardiovascular health, but overall bodily resilience. 10 shocking foods destroying your nitric oxide levels. Now let's dive into the 10 shocking foods that could be destroying your nitric oxide levels. 1. Processed meats. Studies have shown that processed meats contain high levels of sodium and preservatives, which can impair nitric oxide production and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Additionally, these meats often contain nitrites and nitrates, which, when consumed in excess, can lead to the formation of harmful compounds called nitrosamines. These compounds not only disrupt nitric oxide synthesis, but are also carcinogenic, posing further health risks. Moreover, the saturated fats prevalent in processed meats contribute to endothelial dysfunction. Saturated fats can cause inflammation and oxidative stress in the endothelial cells lining the blood vessels, reducing their ability to produce nitric oxide. This reduction in nitric oxide availability exacerbates the risk of hypertension and other cardiovascular issues, making processed meats particularly detrimental to cardiovascular health. 2. High sugar foods. Excessive sugar intake has been linked to inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which can reduce nitric oxide bioavailability. Consuming high amounts of sugar can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where the body's cells become less responsive to insulin. This resistance can further impair nitric oxide production, as insulin plays a role in stimulating its synthesis. Over time, this can contribute to the development of type 2 diabetes and other metabolic disorders. High sugar diets also promote the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, harmful compounds that result from the reaction between sugars and proteins or fats in the body. AGEs can cause endothelial dysfunction by increasing oxidative stress and inflammation within the blood vessels, thereby reducing nitric oxide availability. This endothelial damage not only increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, but also accelerates the aging process and the onset of age-related chronic conditions. 3. Trans fats. Trans fats interfere with the normal function of the endothelial cells lining the blood vessels, causing them to become less responsive to nitric oxide signals. This interference disrupts the process of vasodilation, leading to increased blood pressure and a higher risk of cardiovascular events. The presence of trans fats in the diet is strongly associated with an increase in LDL, bad cholesterol, and a decrease in HDL, good cholesterol. This imbalance exacerbates the risk of heart disease and stroke, making the elimination of trans fats from the diet crucial for maintaining healthy nitric oxide levels and overall cardiovascular health. 4. High sodium foods. Excessive sodium disrupts the delicate balance of electrolytes in the body, which is essential for the proper functioning of endothelial cells. This disruption impairs the cell's ability to produce nitric oxide efficiently, leading to reduced vasodilation and increased blood pressure. Additionally, high sodium levels can promote the release of stress hormones such as adrenaline, which constrict blood vessels and further hinder nitric oxide production. Chronic high sodium consumption is linked to increased oxidative stress and inflammation in the vascular system. This inflammation damages the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, reducing its ability to produce nitric oxide and worsening cardiovascular health. Reducing sodium intake is therefore crucial for preserving nitric oxide levels and maintaining a healthy cardiovascular system. 5. Alcohol. While moderate alcohol consumption might have some benefits, excessive intake can impair nitric oxide production and increase the risk of hypertension and heart disease. High levels of alcohol consumption can lead to oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which negatively impact the endothelial cells responsible for producing nitric oxide. This reduction in nitric oxide availability impairs blood vessel function, leading to increased blood pressure and a higher risk of cardiovascular complications. Furthermore, Chronic excessive alcohol intake can cause liver damage, which further affects nitric oxide production. The liver plays a crucial role in metabolizing alcohol and detoxifying the body, but when it is overburdened, it cannot function properly. This impaired liver function leads to an accumulation of harmful substances in the body that can damage the endothelium and reduce nitric oxide synthesis. As a result, maintaining moderate alcohol consumption is vital for preserving nitric oxide levels and protecting overall cardiovascular health. 6. Saturated fats. Found in fatty meats and dairy products, saturated fats can contribute to endothelial dysfunction and reduced nitric oxide availability. These fats can lead to the accumulation of cholesterol in the blood vessels, promoting the development of atherosclerosis. The buildup of plaque restricts blood flow and impairs the endothelium's ability to produce nitric oxide, resulting in compromised vascular function and increased risk of cardiovascular diseases. Moreover, diets high in saturated fats can trigger systemic inflammation. Inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein, CRP, are often elevated in individuals consuming excessive saturated fats. This inflammation further damages the endothelial cells and diminishes their capacity to produce nitric oxide. Long-term consumption of saturated fats can thus have a profound negative impact on cardiovascular health, emphasizing the need to limit these fats in our diet to maintain optimal nitric oxide levels and overall vascular health. 7. Artificial sweeteners. Some studies suggest that artificial sweeteners can alter gut bacteria, leading to reduced nitric oxide production and increased cardiovascular risk. These sweeteners, commonly found in diet sodas and sugar-free products, can disrupt the delicate balance of the gut microbiome. This disruption can cause dysbiosis, a condition where harmful bacteria outnumber beneficial ones, resulting in inflammation and impaired nitric oxide synthesis. Additionally, artificial sweeteners have been linked to metabolic changes that can negatively affect nitric oxide levels. For instance, they can interfere with glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity, leading to increased oxidative stress and endothelial dysfunction. This can further reduce the bioavailability of nitric oxide and elevate the risk of developing conditions such as hypertension and type 2 diabetes. Limiting the intake of artificial sweeteners is therefore important for maintaining healthy nitric oxide levels and supporting cardiovascular health. 8. Refined carbohydrates. Foods like white bread and pastries can spike blood sugar levels and promote inflammation, which negatively impacts nitric oxide levels. The rapid digestion and absorption of refined carbohydrates lead to quick spikes in blood glucose, which can cause the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. This process can result in insulin resistance over time, a condition that impairs the ability of the endothelium to produce nitric oxide effectively. Moreover, the high glycemic index of refined carbohydrates contributes to oxidative stress and the production of reactive oxygen species, ROS. These harmful molecules damage endothelial cells and reduce nitric oxide bioavailability. Chronic consumption of refined carbohydrates is linked to increased inflammation markers in the body, further compromising vascular health and nitric oxide synthesis. Reducing intake of these foods and opting for whole grains and complex carbohydrates can help maintain healthier nitric oxide levels and improve overall cardiovascular function. 9. Caffeine. While moderate caffeine intake is generally safe, excessive consumption can lead to dehydration and reduced nitric oxide production. Dehydration affects blood volume and blood pressure, which can strain the cardiovascular system and impair the endothelium's ability to produce nitric oxide. This reduction in nitric oxide can result in less efficient vasodilation, increasing the risk of hypertension and other cardiovascular issues. Furthermore, high levels of caffeine can increase the release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones can cause vasoconstriction, reducing blood flow and nitric oxide availability. Over time, excessive caffeine consumption can lead to chronic stress on the cardiovascular system, further diminishing the production of nitric oxide and negatively impacting overall heart health. Managing caffeine intake and staying hydrated are essential for maintaining optimal nitric oxide levels and supporting cardiovascular function. 10. Fast food. Typically high in trans fats, sodium, and refined carbs, fast food can significantly decrease nitric oxide levels and harm overall cardiovascular health. The combination of these unhealthy components leads to increased oxidative stress and inflammation, which are detrimental to endothelial function. The damaged endothelium is less capable of producing nitric oxide, resulting in impaired blood flow and higher blood pressure. Additionally, the high calorie content and low nutritional value of fast food contribute to weight gain and obesity, further exacerbating the reduction of nitric oxide levels. Obesity is associated with chronic inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which impair nitric oxide synthesis. Regular consumption of fast food can thus create a vicious cycle of poor health outcomes, highlighting the importance of choosing healthier, nutrient-dense foods to support optimal nitric oxide levels and overall cardiovascular health. Frequently asked questions. Let's address some frequently asked questions about nitric oxide. What should my nitric oxide level be? There isn't a specific normal level, but maintaining good cardiovascular health, regular exercise, and a balanced diet can help keep levels optimal. To support healthy nitric oxide levels, focus on consuming foods rich in nitrates, such as leafy green vegetables and beets, which the body can convert into nitric oxide. Regular physical activity, particularly aerobic exercises like running, swimming, and cycling, also enhances nitric oxide production through increased blood flow and oxygen delivery to tissues. In addition to diet and exercise, minimizing the intake of foods that are detrimental to nitric oxide levels, such as those high in trans fats, sodium, and sugars, is crucial. It's also beneficial to manage stress through practices like meditation, yoga, and adequate sleep, as chronic stress can negatively impact nitric oxide synthesis. By integrating these lifestyle habits, you can support your body's ability to maintain optimal nitric oxide levels, contributing to better cardiovascular health and overall well-being. What are the symptoms of low nitric oxide? Symptoms may include high blood pressure, poor exercise performance, cognitive decline, and a weakened immune system. Additionally, individuals with low nitric oxide levels may experience frequent headaches or migraines due to impaired blood flow and reduced vasodilation in the brain. These headaches can become chronic if nitric oxide levels remain low over an extended period. How do you restore nitric oxide levels? Consuming foods rich in nitrates like leafy greens, regular physical activity, and avoiding the foods mentioned earlier can help restore nitric oxide levels. Additionally, incorporating certain supplements can boost nitric oxide production. Supplements like L-arginine and L-citrulline, amino acids that the body converts into nitric oxide, have been shown to enhance nitric oxide levels and improve vascular function. Beetroot juice is another popular supplement known for its high nitrate content, which can effectively increase nitric oxide availability in the body. It's also important to focus on lifestyle changes that promote overall health. Practices such as adequate hydration, managing stress through mindfulness techniques, and getting sufficient sleep each night are crucial. Hydration helps maintain blood volume and pressure, which supports nitric oxide production. Stress reduction techniques like meditation and deep breathing exercises can lower cortisol levels, which in turn helps maintain healthy nitric oxide levels. By adopting a holistic approach that includes dietary, supplemental, and lifestyle strategies, you can effectively restore and maintain optimal nitric oxide levels for better health. How to check nitric oxide levels? Nitric oxide levels can be indirectly measured through salivary strips or, more accurately, via blood tests performed by healthcare professionals. Salivary strips are a convenient at-home option that provides a quick indication of your nitric oxide status. These strips change color based on the presence of nitric oxide metabolites in your saliva, giving you a visual representation of your levels. While not as precise as blood tests, salivary strips can be useful for regular monitoring and immediate feedback. For a more detailed and accurate assessment, blood tests conducted by healthcare professionals are recommended. These tests measure the concentration of nitric oxide metabolites in the blood, providing a comprehensive overview of your nitric oxide status. In addition to these tests, advanced methods such as flow-mediated dilation, FMD, can evaluate endothelial function and nitric oxide production. Consulting with a healthcare provider can help determine the most appropriate testing method and provide personalized advice on maintaining optimal nitric oxide levels. If you found this information valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and leave a comment below. Your engagement helps us continue to provide you with essential health insights backed by scientific research.